Hey, what's up? My name's Samuel Leeds, and in this video, I want to explain and give you the 5 steps in how you can become a millionaire as a result of the 2020 crash that we're in right now. Now, most people right now are feeling extremely worried and are saying, oh my goodness, we just need to survive this crash. That's what people are saying. We just need to get through. And I so strongly disagree with that, because when I started out and when I became wealthy in property, I actually started out in 2008, 2009 time. And that was not the same as this crash, it's very different, but it was a massive crash. And in 2008, when I was planning on how to be a property millionaire, I bought my first house in 2009 and everyone was saying, it's a terrible time, it's a terrible time. But that was when I grew my portfolio. By age 25, I was a millionaire, and now I'm a multi-millionaire. And listen, I don't say that to try and impress you, but to impress upon you that not only is it possible, but also it's very possible during downfalls and during recessions. So I believe, I don't know what the statistic is on this, but I believe that most millionaires are made through recessions. So you might be watching this video thinking, no, I just want to get through this. I'm not sure if I can be a millionaire. Being a millionaire is not that much. Like £1 million isn't that much. And again, I don't mean to sound like a jerk saying this, but if you think 10, okay, £10,000. £10,000 times 10, times 10 again, that's £1 million. And it might sound a lot right now, but it's impossible to not be a millionaire when you have a mindset of a millionaire. So I'm going to give you right now the 5 ways that you need to think. And if you embrace these philosophies and this thinking through 2020 and you get your mindset right and apply these 5 teachings, it's just gonna happen. It's completely inevitable. Number 1 is empathize. As a millionaire, you will not become successful. You will not grow a big business unless you're actually thinking about other people. Dr. John Demartini says that being poor is actually probably pretty selfish. And whilst that sounds crazy, what do you mean being poor selfish? Surely being rich is greedy. Actually, no. Because when you're rich, when you become a millionaire, it's probably because you've helped a load of people. So why do I say empathy? Because in order to make money, you've got to first put yourself in the shoes of other people. Right now, people need different things to what they needed in 2019. People's needs have changed. And what I see so many people doing right now is they're saying, I want people to buy my products, people to buy my deals, trying to push their business, trying to push their agenda on everybody else, rather than thinking, actually, what do people want? What do people need right now, and how can I give it to them? That's the first step. Got to think, what do my customers need? What do people need right now? And you can only think like that when you truly empathize and put yourself in other people's shoes. That's how you need to think. Not, how can I get through this crash? If you think like that, then yeah, you may survive or may not survive. But if you think, how can I help other people in this crash? What are people's problems right now and how can I solve them? That's the first step. The second step is you need to adapt, massively adapt. You will not make it in this time unless you adapt. The businesses that are adapting are doing very, very well. Even some of the tiny, small businesses, some of the struggling businesses last year are now thriving. Where I live, in my village, there's this little restaurant and it's always really quiet. Like there's hardly anyone in there. Now, I don't know the finances of the restaurant, but I imagine they're probably not making too much money. They're probably struggling. I'd drive past, I'd see I used to sometimes go in to try and support the business. Then all restaurants closed down. Okay, so now I'm thinking that business is probably going to go bust. There's so many restaurants that are going bust right now. This restaurant right now is thriving. Like they've adapted, they've empathized what the people want, and they've created like a market stall outside of the restaurant where they've got all the favorite things on the menu all day long, every day. There's queues. All the other restaurants are all closed down, probably gonna go bust. This one, it's not just surviving, this restaurant is thriving, and the reason it's thriving is because it's empathized what do people need right now, and it's adapted. The restaurants that are saying, we don't do takeaways, no, we don't do that, we've never done that. Maybe you need to adapt and do things in 2020 through this recession that you didn't do in 2019. You've got to adapt, big time. 180, adapt. Second thing. Third thing is, if you want to make it, if you've got a business or if you're just starting out, you've got to cut all the baggage right now. Now, I don't know if you're a business person or if you're just starting out as an entrepreneur, but myself in my business, I had overheads, like big overheads. Our overheads as a business were about £550,000 a month. That's over £500,000 a month that my business was spending every single month just in, yeah, this is just typical, this is just our spend. Now, we haven't fired anybody, we haven't let anybody go, and I hope we don't have to, but we've shrunk that massively down. More than 50% we've shrunk that down during this lockdown, and we've had time to say, right, you know, what do we not need to spend? Who do we not need to use? What do we not need to pay for? What are the subscriptions? And we've just shrunk our expenses massively. So again, if you want to make it through this time and survive and thrive, then you need to cut all the baggage. Not just talking the baggage of overheads and finances. Maybe in your situation, maybe you've got, you know, a couple cars, take a couple holidays, living in a big house. Maybe you need to cut that baggage and you need to move into an apartment and you need to become a millionaire instead. Like when I was first a millionaire, 25, I didn't have loads of fancy stuff. So cut the baggage, but also cut the negativity out your life. Cut the friends that aren't supporting you. Cut the TV shows, just cut the baggage. You gotta do that right now. Leave behind at the beginning of 2020, anything that's gonna hold you back or get in your way at becoming a millionaire. Cut it, chop it, and don't be afraid to do that. Next, number 4, massive, is you need to be an opportunity finder right now, not a problem finder. Are there problems right now in 2020? Yes. The world, not just the country, the world is flooded with problems. Everybody's upset, everybody's scared, no one can leave the house. Problems. Now you can either join most people, join average people and say, yeah, aren't there loads of problems, I can't go out either. Or you can join the other group of people who are the rich people, and instead of finding problems, you can find opportunities. Opportunities to solve those problems maybe. How can you solve people's problems right now? What are the opportunities? There was a guy who I just spoke to, one of my students, and he is finding people right now who've got rent-to-rent deals that want out. They're like, oh, I don't want this anymore. They've got a problem. Then he's finding people that are looking for rent-to-rent deals right now and going, oh, I want some rent-to-rent deals. He is bringing the two together and charging a fee. So that's it. Find people's problems and solve them. Don't you find problems right now. There's enough problems going on right now for someone else to be finding more problems. Find opportunities. Find motivated sellers that are desperate to sell their property. They have to sell it this year because they have maybe a contract or something or a joint venture agreement where they have to sell it. And now they're like, oh man, and they've got a problem. And then you come in, negotiate the price down and find a buyer, bring the two together. Maybe. You can do this starting with no money. And the number 5 is what? Number 5 is this. You gotta be courageous. Outrageously courageous, taking massive action, not procrastinating, actually stepping out and taking massive action and having courage. That's number 5. While everybody else is scared, being lazy, getting sloppy, thinking about excuses, worrying, anxious, you can't do that. You just gotta take massive action and be absolutely courageous, be fearless, don't care what anybody thinks, don't care what anybody's saying, do what you need to do. Step out and do it. Those are the 5 things. If you do those 5 things and that's your mindset, it's like, yeah, well, I just empathize with people and then I adapt and I cut all baggage and I find opportunities, not problems, and I take massive action and I'm courageous. If you do that, that's called a millionaire mindset. If you have a millionaire mindset, it's inevitable that you will become a millionaire. And it can happen as a result of this crash. It can happen. Don't let your economy be the same as the economy. Create your own economy, become a millionaire. That's my message.